What's going on, everyone? You're back with your boy Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to look at two skills in one, but I guarantee they flow on exactly from one another, so it's not going to be that much extra work. So the first thing that we're looking at is these 5 number summaries, and they tell us a whole bunch of information about the distribution specifically of a data set. So this really helps out with things like range and interquartile range and allows us to quickly see if there's any trends in the data that we might not have been able to see without these summaries. The box and whisker plot is just a representation of this 5 number summary and allows you to really quickly look at 2 pieces of data and see if there are differences in between them. So the 5 number summary has 5 numbers. Absolutely crazy. The ones that we are looking at that we've already kind of seen before are the minimum and maximum values and then the median. So this is 0%, 50% and 100% of the data set. We're also looking at the first quartile and the third quartile. And if you're not on top of quartiles, I've got another video explaining them and I'll link it in the description below. Something that's really important for us to know is these quartiles are sometimes called Q1, Q2, and Q3, but they just kind of give us a little bit more information. So what these 5 numbers are telling us is that we can break down the data and put it in the correct quartile. So we're taking a whole data set and breaking it into 4 groups and putting it where it belongs. So this is really helpful because if you were looking at, hey, is this a high mark, a low mark, whatever, you could, instead of saying, oh yeah, it's bigger than the median, you could say, oh no, I know for a fact that this is above the 75th percentile, so it's only 25% away from that top mark. So this helps us group data really easily. And once we see these box and whisker plots, you're going to see that the visualization of this will allow us to see any trends really quickly. Obviously, the minimum and maximum values are easy to find if we're in ascending order, and we are very confident finding the median. Finding the 2 quartiles is really easy as well. A quartile is just a half of a half. So once you've found that median value, we just have to do it again, but this time in the bottom 50% and the top 50%. If you're on top of that, you're going to get full marks. So to start off, we're going to label the minimum and maximum. I'm sure we can do that. And then we're going to find the median. So as we get rid of the top and the bottom scores, we're going to be left with 15 in the middle there. So what I want you to do is label this the median straight away. And now, because the number is actually the median, I want you to ignore it for this next step. I actually get rid of it because I've got a whiteboard here that I can do that. But in your mind, I want you to just eliminate that number. Now we've got 2 data sets, the bottom and the top, and I've just got to do the median again. That's why I like to do the one distinct stroke when I cross out for that first median, because now I can go the other way and make sure that I don't double count something if I'm in a stressful environment like an exam. So for this lower quartile, I'm going to get rid of top, bottom, and I'm in between 12 and 14. So my quartile 1, or my 25% value, is just 13, and that's where that number is going to be. We're done. Doing the exact same thing for Q3 is pretty cruisy. Top and bottom, and then I'm left with a number in between 2 19, so my Q3 is 19. Happy days. Now all I've got to do is fill these in. You'll often be given something like this where you have to tell me what each score is for the 5 number summary, and you just write them in. 11, 13, 15, 19, 20, done. Finding the IQR is really easy. You take the Q3 mark and minus the Q1 mark. And for this one, that's 19 minus 13, which is equal to 6. So straight from here, we're going to jump into the box and whisker plot. These are incredibly easy. All you've got to be able to do is draw 9 lines, and they're very, very cruisy. The first one that I want you to do is we're doing 5 vertical strikes every time we have a data point from that 5 number summary. So this is just 11, 13, 15, 19, 20, done. So that's our first step. Once you've got those onto a plane, you're laughing. The next thing I want you to do is do 1 single line on the outside ones. So 1 single line right in the middle, right? So it looks exactly like this. And then to connect these inner ones, I want you to do a top and bottom line. Done. Obviously, it's pretty easy to just draw a box normally, but this has worked for my students in the past. Connect the outside ones, connect the inside ones. For this second one, we do have to be careful because we've got an even number of scores. That means our median is going to be in the middle, but that's the only thing we've got to look out for. So for this one, again, minimum and maximum are pretty easy to find. And finding that median, all you've got to do is cross them off we're in between 42 and 50, so the median here is 46. Because the median is in between two numbers, we don't get rid of the 42 and the 50 from our next quartiles, okay? We're still including them, which makes finding the quartiles for these ones really easy. We've got three numbers, we've got to find the middle one. So for the bottom one, that's going to be 35, just by crossing them off, and then I've got 52 up the top. So from here, I've just got to fill in all the numbers. I've got 30, 35, 46, 52, and 56 straight in. Again, finding the IQR is really easy. 52 minus 35 is equal to 17, and we're done. Now to put everything on that box and whisker plot, exactly the same steps. Every time I've got a data point, I'm putting a straight vertical line, and I've got 5 of them in there. On the outsides, I'm going to do 1 lines just to connect them, and on the inside ones, a line at the top and the bottom to make it an actual box. That's all you've got to do. From here, we've created a visual representation of the data that we can use really easily to see if there's any differences. So for this one, we could see straight away that there's a bigger gap between the 25th percentile or Q1 and the median than there is between the median and Q3. So this tells us something more in depth about the distribution of the data than we could have known before. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you later.